Hello friends, hope you are having a fantastic day today. So in this video, we are going to solve an amazing LeetCode problem called largest number. And this problem has been asked in companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Bloomberg, and bunch of others. So without any delay, let's get started. So as you can see, this is a very well-liked LeetCode problem, and also this is a LeetCode medium problem. Now let's try to understand that what the problem statement is asking us to solve. Basically, we are given a non-negative integers nums array, and we are being told that we need to arrange this in such a manner that we get the largest number from combining all the numbers that are currently present inside the given array. So let's try to understand this with a couple of examples. If we see this first example, we are given an array with two values, 1, 0 and 2. So if we combine these two numbers, what is the largest number, possible number that we can get? So in this case, we cannot break apart this existing number. So 1, 0 has to remain 1, 0 in all the cases, but we have the option to select from 2, 1, 0 or 1, 0, 2. So because currently we only have two values, so we only have two possibilities, and in this case 2, 1, 0 is the largest number, so we need to return 2, 1, 0 as the answer. Let's try to understand the same problem with few more examples. So suppose we are given the values like 3, 5 and 10. If this is the value given to us, what is the largest number we can make out of this? So one option is we can make a value 3510. Second option is we make a value like 5310. Next we can make a value of 5103, something like this. But in either cases, amongst all the possible values, this is going to be the largest value we should be able to make. So in this case, we need to return this as the answer. So I hope my explanation makes sense to you and you can understand that what we are trying to return. Now, if we see the problem statement, we are given a couple of other things to make our lives easy. Number one, they are saying that the result could be very large numbers. So we need to, rather than returning integer values, we can simply return string as the answer. And all we are doing in this problem is that we are actually treating these values as string values, so string 1 and string 2, and then we are seeing that how can we concate string 1 plus string 2 in such a manner that we get the largest number. So we have two options because we currently only have two values, string 1 and string 2 in this case. So either we can concate string 1 plus string 2, which would result in the value 102, which is this value combining these two numbers, or second option is we concate string 2 plus string 1, and in this case the answer we get is 210. So because 210 is larger than 102, we are going to return 210 as the answer. Now this is a very clear hint on how we are going to solve this problem. Basically, the idea is that we could have been given bunch of different values inside the given array, and somehow we need to sort this array in such a manner where the very first element is the largest value, and we are not talking about largest in terms of like pure numerical value, but the largest first value, and this we can only determine compared to rest of the other values. And I know what I just said might have gone over your head, so let me give you try to give you a simple explanation. Okay, let's just go back to our example of values 3, 5 and 10. Now in this case, we know that the answer is going to be 5310, and this has to be the largest number. But how can we come up with this largest number? And if we have to make this number, what should the sorted array should look like? So the sorted array should be that very first value should be value number 5, next value should be value number 3, and the last value has to be value number 10. Now if we just take the example that in this given input array, we are simply trying to make the largest value as the numerical sorting order and then present that largest value as the sorted array, then it would not work. Because if you see in this case, if we just have to sort all of these values based on their value preposition, we would get a value like this 10, 5 and 3. But in this case, if we combine these letters in this sequence, we would get value 1053. So 1053 is clearly a smaller value compared to value 5310, which is what we need to return. So what I'm suggesting is that whenever we start sorting the array, the logic we are going to use is that let's assume that we want to compare two numbers. So currently the two numbers we are comparing is 5 and 10. Okay, these two numbers. So what are the options we can have? Number one option for this array is that either 5 can come before value number 10 or 10 can come before value number 5. But in either case, how we are going to determine? We are going to determine by combining these two values as if they are string concatenation. And let's see that what approach we come up with. Okay, so now currently the premise is we only have two values, 5, 10, and another value is 10, 5. So which sequence should be the correct sequence? So we are going to combine the values. So if we combine this, we get the value 510. If we combine this, we get the value 105. And in this case, 510 is clearly greater. So when we are sorting our array to generate the largest number, 5 has to come before value number 10 somewhere. And this is the logic we are going to apply to solve this problem. So I'm going to show you two examples of solving this with like a simple problem and a complex problem, and that would enable your mind to come up with the answer. And if you are having any issues or if you are not able to comprehend what I'm suggesting, all I say is that you apply this logic to sort the array and you should be able to find the answer. So this next portion is for anyone who got confused. So that then just look at the example. But if you already understood what I'm trying to say, then you can basically conclude this video. So now let me just explain my theory with a couple of examples. So number one example is, once again, let me take three values. Okay, so 7, 2, and 9. Okay, these are the three numbers we are taking, and we know the biggest number we would be able to make is going to be 972. Okay, let me take a little bit more complicated value because this is very simple. So instead of 2, we are going to take the value 20. Okay, and now the largest value we should be able to make is 9720. But let's see the approach. So first what we are going to do is we are going to apply the same logic that when we are comparing two values A and B, we are going to compare A plus B and we are going to compare B plus A. And this is not plus as in like mathematical plus, but you can consider this plus as a concatenation of two numbers. Okay, so now currently the two values we have is 7 and 20 we are trying to compare. So what are the two options? Number one option is that we have 720. Second option is 207, because this 20 has to remain together. So amongst these two values, we can clearly see that 7 is greater value and 20 is lesser value. So after comparing these two elements, we can conclude that 7 has to remain first and 20 has to remain second. But now we still have to make sure that where we are going to put this value number 9. So once again, let's compare this value number 9 with this value number 20. So if we compare 9 and 20, we have one option is 920 and second option is 209. So clearly 920 is greater, which means 9 has to come before value number 20. So let me make this adjustment. And currently 9 has to come before value number 20. But is 9 at the correct place? No, because we still have to check with value number 7. So once again, we are going to compare the values 79 and 97. Once again, 97 is greater, which means 9 has to come before value number 7. So let us also adjust the value of this 9. So now currently this 9 is very first element and this 7 is the second element. Now since we ran out of elements over here, which means we can't do anything in this case. So this has to be the correct sequence of numbers that are sorted in ascending order such a way that combining these is going to result the largest number possible. So let's combine these values and the answer is going to be 9720, and this is what we need to return. Let me give you just one more example really quickly, just for the explanation sake. And let's take some larger example. So the values are 3, 50, 20 and 9 and 1. Okay, this is the number. So let's start comparing. So first we compare this value 3 and 50. So one option is 350 and second option is 503, which means definitely 50 has to come before value number 3. So okay, now currently we are comparing this value number 3 with value number 20. So once again, if you do that, 203 versus 302, oh sorry, 320. So once again, 320 is going to be greater. So we are going to put 3 before value number 20. This is correct sequence. Now 20 compared to 9. So once again, the one option is 209, second option is 902. So definitely 9 has to come before 20. And once again, if we keep on repeating the same process with 3, once again 9 has to come before 3 as well, and same way 9 has to come before 50. So the value is going to be 9, then 50, then 3 and then 20. Okay, and last value is 1. So 1, okay, if we compare 20 with 1, the answer is going to be 201, and 1 20. So 201 is greater, so value has to be 2, has to be 1. And if we combine all of these values, this is the correct sorted order, and I really quickly glance over it because I just wanted to explain how the method is going to work. And the answer is going to be 9503201, and this is going to be the largest number we should be able to make from given this input, and this logic would work perfectly fine. Now for most of the languages like Java, Python, C++, they already have a sorting method in order to sort the arrays, and we can sort them in any order. So even for this one, we should be able to take or utilize the sorting method in order to generate the array. And this sorting usually works in n log n method, where we use comparator method to compare any two elements in order to sort them. What I showed you over here was a very slow approach. This would work in big O of n square time, but since we already have a sorting method that is built in, that runs in n log n time, we should be able to use that, and that is going to yield us very good result in terms of time complexity. If we see space complexity is going to be big O of n, because many cases this sorting algorithm usually takes big O of n space, and that's these are the time and space complexity. Now let's try to see the coding solution. So very first thing we are going to do is create a new string array, because we will have to convert all the numbers into the string, and then we are going to iterate over our given nums array into simple for loop fashion and convert all the values into the string values. Once we have our string array, now all we need to do is use the pre-existing arrays.sort method, where we are comparing two elements in such a manner that we are concatenating the strings a and b, and we are comparing a plus b and b plus a, and seeing that which value is greater compared to the other value. Once this is done, the array should have been sorted. Now we are just taking care of one of the edge cases, where if the given value has the largest value or the very first element as 0, we can simply return 0. If that is not the case, we will simply run a string builder operation, where we are going to concat all the values that are currently present inside our string array, which we have already sorted in ascending order in terms of completely larger values, and then we can simply return the largest number that we have been able to build using our string builder method. So now let's try to run this code, and seems like our solution is working as expected. Let's submit this code, and our code runs very fast compared to a lot of other solutions, and it is also very efficient in terms of memory usage. So I would be posting this solution into the GitHub repository that we have created. And if we see, this GitHub repository contains hundreds of different LeetCode code solution questions and answers, and I will be posting there, and the link to this GitHub repository is currently present inside the description of this video. So I hope you like it, you enjoy it, and till then, take care.